Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to everyone. So let me start with Bismillah. And today is about graduate unemployment has become one of the most persistent socio-economic challenges across many developing Muslim countries, including Brunei Darussalam. Although access to higher education has improved, many graduates still struggle to secure jobs that match with their qualifications. According to the Labour Force survey conducted by the Department of Economic Planning and Statistics under the Ministry of Finance and Economy, Brunei's overall unemployment rate was 5.1% in 2023 and slightly decreased to 4.7% in 2024. However, the unemployment rate among graduates with advanced education was higher at around 6.1% in 2023, based on data compiled by the World Bank. This indicates a serious structural issues, a clear mismatch between what is taught in education and what is required in the job market. It also raised ethical and developmental concerns as unemployment not only affects the economy but also human dignity, social stability, and national productivity. The main objective of this case study is to analyze the structural and ethical dimensions of graduate unemployment in Brunei Darussalam through the framework of Islamic Development Management, or IDM. This study seeks to answer three main research questions. First, what are the main factors contributing to graduate unemployment in Brunei Darussalam? Second, how can IDM principles offer practical and effective solutions? And the third one is, what are the lessons can be learned from Malaysia and Indonesia in managing graduate unemployment? By drawing comparative insight from these two countries, this study situates Brunei's challenges within the broader Islamic concept of balanced development, or al-tawazun, emphasizing human capital, that is al-insan, and the pursuit of public good, that is maslahah. Finally, this research is guided by the principle of maqasid al-shari'ah, particularly in the preservation of intellect, hifzu al-aqal, wealth, hifzu al-mal, and human dignity, that is hifzu al-nafs. This principle provides a strong ethical foundation for promoting sustainable development and achieving the goals of Wawasan Brunei 2035.
Now we move to the problem statement. There are a total of 5 problem statements. The first one, paradox, educated population but rising unemployment. The second one, over dependence on public sector with private industry growth. Third one, skill mismatch between education and job market. The fourth one, weak coordination between universities, industries, and government. The fifth, lack of Islamic work ethics and entrepreneurial mindset.
Now, moving on to the objectives of our study. Our research is guided by 4 main objectives. First, we aim to analyze the causes of graduate unemployment, focusing on both structural and ethical dimensions. This means we are not only looking at the external factors, such as the job market and education system, but also at internal factors like work attitude and ethics from an Islamic perspective. Second, we aim to develop an Islamic Development Management, or IDM, framework. In this part, we apply the principles of maqasid al-shari'ah to policy development, which is to ensure that our approach aligns with Islamic values and contribute to the holistic well-being of society. Third, we plan to benchmark our findings with Malaysia and Indonesia. By studying their strategies and experiences, we can learn from their successes and challenges in addressing graduate unemployment and adapt relevant lessons for Brunei context. And finally, our fourth objective is to propose ethical policy recommendation. These recommendations are guided by key Islamic values: ihsan, which is excellence; amanah, trustworthiness; and ta'awun, cooperation. Through these values, we hope to promote not only employability, but also moral and ethical development among graduates.
This study adopts a qualitative and conceptual approach, focusing on gaining a deep understanding of graduate unemployment in Brunei Darussalam through the lens of Islamic Development Management. The methodology relies mainly on document analysis and systematic literature review. For the systematic literature review, the study examines academic works, case studies, and policy experiences from Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia, particularly focusing on models and strategies that address graduate unemployment and skill mismatch. Meanwhile, the document analysis covers key national documents such as DEPS reports, National Development Plans, and Wawasan Brunei 2035. These sources are reviewed to identify existing policy directions, implementation gaps, and how they align with national objectives. Finally, the study uses Maqasid al-Sharia as an ethical and evaluative lens to reinterpret these findings. Through this Islamic framework, the research aims to propose an integrated and ethically grounded model for enhancing graduate employability in Brunei.
Number 1. Reconciling economic policy with moral work ethic. Lesson from Malaysia. The analysis of Malaysia's experience reveals that successfully reducing unemployment requires more than just capital injection. It demands the cultivation of a robust national character. Malaysia achieved success through a targeted industrial development program coupled with the deliberate adoption of an Islamic-inspired work ethic. This moral framework emphasizes core professional values such as discipline, punctuality, and commitment, translating to higher productivity and loyalty to the nation. The findings demonstrate the synthesis between modern economics and moral philosophy, aligning with Islamic injunction for productivity, al-amal, and self-reliance, al-i'timad al-nafs. Discussion for Brunei. For Brunei, whose public sector still dominates employment, this finding is crucial. The structural issue of economic overdependence must be tackled simultaneously, addressing the ethical complacency it fosters. Brunei must adapt to this model by not only incentivizing the private sector and encouraging local industry participation, but also initiating the nationwide program, perhaps spearheaded by the Majlis Islam Brunei, MUIB, to instill a work ethic grounded in Islam's spirituality and community responsibility, fardu kifayah. This reframes unemployment such as societal breach of the trust, amanah, and employment as a vital contribution to maslahah, public good, encouraging graduates to see values in productive roles outside the secure, saturated civil service.
Second finding, which focuses on education reform. Our research highlights three key elements: graduate readiness, value-driven education, and holistic development. First, let's look at graduate readiness. Malaysia has implemented an outcome-based education system, or OBE, which ensures that students are not only equipped with academic knowledge, but also the necessary skills and competencies required for the job market. This system focuses on clear learning outcomes, so by the time students graduate, they are ready and capable of meeting industry expectation. Next, we move to value-driven education. In the context of Brunei, universities such as UNISA and UBD are encouraged to adopt this approach. Value-driven education means integrating moral, ethical, and spiritual values into the learning process, not just focusing on academic excellence, but also on nurturing students' integrity, leaderships, and sense of responsibility to the Ummah. Lastly, we have holistic development. This refers to developing graduates who are balanced in both worldly and spiritual aspects. By embedding elements such as Tawhid, Fiqh, and Tasawwuf, education can produce holistic graduates, or what we call Insan Kamil, individuals who are intellectually capable, morally upright, and spiritually grounded. For our third finding, we will look at Indonesia's multi-stakeholder model in reducing unemployment. In Indonesia, job creation is not handled by the government alone. Instead, it is achieved through collaboration between three main sectors: the government, universities, and the private sector. This partnership allows universities to align their education and training with industry needs, while the government provides support through policies and programs. The private sector, on the other hand, offers job opportunities and practical experience for graduates. This model promotes the Islamic values of justice, or adil, and consultation, or shura, in decision making. It ensures that employment strategies are fair, inclusive, and based on cooperation rather than competition. From this finding, we suggest that Brunei could also adopt a similar model by formalizing cooperation under Islamic councils such as MUIB. Through this, Brunei can encourage stronger collaboration between educational institutions, the governments, and private industries, all guided by Islamic principles, which is to reduce unemployment and produce skilled, value-driven graduates. Now, I will continue with the IDM framework summary, which brings together the key elements from our findings. This framework consists of three main pillars that support the idea of Islamic Development Management, or IDM. Pillar 1. Holistic Human Capital. This pillar focuses on developing individuals who are complete in both ethics and skills. It emphasizes that education should not only aim to create knowledgeable graduates, but also those who have strong moral values and good character. In other words, to produce insan kamil, or a perfected human being. This means combining intellectual ability with spiritual and ethical strength, preparing individuals to contribute positively to society. Pillar 2. Policy Coordination. The second pillar highlights the importance of justice, adl, and constitutions, shura, in governance and decision-making. It promotes shared responsibility between the government, universities, and private sectors, ensuring that all policies and programs work together towards national development. By practicing justice and consultations, decisions become more inclusive, transparent, and in line with Islamic principles. Pillar 3. Balanced Development, or Al-Tawazun. These pillars ensures that development in a country is balanced between material and moral welfare. It reminds us that progress should not only focus on economic growth, but also on spiritual and ethical well-being. In Islam, true success is achieved when both worldly and spiritual needs are fulfilled harmoniously. In summary, the IDM framework integrates these three pillars: holistic human capital, coordinated policy, and balanced development, to create a system that nurtures capable, ethical, and spiritually conscious individuals while ensuring justice and harmony in national progress. Next, I'll be highlighting how unemployment can be seen through the lens of amanah or trust. Unemployment is not just an economic issue, it's also an ethical and social one. When individuals are unable to find meaningful work, it reflects a crisis of trust. Trust between employers and employees, trust in the system, and trust in how society values work and responsibility. The Islamic Development Model, or IDM, helps us reframe this issue. Instead of viewing unemployment only as a financial or policy problem, IDM emphasizes moral responsibility and social well-being. It reminds us that work is part of fulfilling our duty to God and society. This approach combines Malaysia's strong focus on ethics with Indonesia's governance practices. Together, they provide a more balanced framework that promotes fairness, accountability, and compassion in employment. Finally, the IDM promotes ethical and sustainable employability that aligns with Wawasan 2035, Brunei's vision for a dynamic and educated nation. By integrating values of trust and responsibility into our workforce, we can achieve development that is both inclusive and sustainable.
So in conclusion, to address graduate unemployment, Brunei must adopt and integrate an ethical policy framework based on Islamic development and management. Firstly, the government should link economic diversification with moral work ethics, discipline and self-reliance, al-iktimad al-nafs, ensuring fair and just employment opportunities. Secondly, universities need to shift toward value-driven outcome-based education, embedding transferable skills with Islamic values of ihsan and amanah in line with Maqasid al-Shari'ah. Thirdly, stronger institutional collaboration is vital, uniting MUIB, government, industries, and universities under Shura to treat employment as a collective social duty, meaning fardu kifayah. Ultimately, tackling this issue is not only economic but ethical and spiritual, ensuring Brunei develops graduates who are both competent and moral grounded, fulfilling the vision of Wawasan Brunei Darussalam. That is Wawasan Brunei 2035. That's all from us. Thank you very much.